The holidays are supposed to be the most wonderful time of the year. But for blended families, they can also be some of the most complicated days. Today's guests know that reality of a blended family over the holidays firsthand, and they're here to share practical tips and strategies and encouragement to help you navigate this Thanksgiving and Christmas season with joy and unity and peace and, those big smiles. Now remember, Daystar's here for you 24/7. If you need prayer for anything, call 1-800-329-0029, and we'll be right back. Today's guests are Paul and Jeanette Savage, a couple who know all about the challenges and the blessings of having a blended family. Now, the holiday season can be especially challenging, so they're here to share some practical ways to navigate the season of a blended family and the holidays. I want to welcome you, Paul and Jeanette Savage, to be here at Healing Times. I'm so glad you all are here. And this is an important topic, right? So let's get a little background. Okay, obviously this is your second marriage, right? So back us up, your story, what was the background story, what was your background story, and then we'll get right into our topic.
Yeah, I grew up in Michigan, grew up Catholic, didn't accept the Lord till I was 25. I went to college in Ohio, played football in college. I moved to Denver, Colorado, or the Denver, Colorado area, been there almost 40 years now. And got married, my girlfriend at the time got pregnant, and then we got married. So that was my first marriage. I was married for 12 years. I have 2 kids from my first marriage. And Jeanette and I, we've been together 18 years now. It'll be 18 years in October.
That we've been married.
That we've been married. We've been together 19 years. We've known each other, and so we have 5 kids. We have 5 kids together. Jeanette has 3 from her first marriage. So. Yeah.
And what was your background to meeting Paul?
So I was born in Nebraska. My dad died when I was 2.
Okay.
My parents were actually never married, but they were together. And we would go to Sunday school, and I accepted Christ as in the second grade. But later in life, I didn't really know what that meant because I wasn't really raised in a Christian home, even though we went to Sunday school. And I got married at 19 to my first husband, and I rededicated my life when I was 21 after I had our first son. So we were married for 20 years and had 3 children, and unfortunately that ended in divorce. And, here we are 20-some years later.
So when you guys met, I mean, it sounds like you did a lot of things right. You didn't introduce the kids till you were serious, then you were serious, and then you got married. But you weren't, you guys weren't living together. So now you got to bring this tribe together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so what was the age ranges of your tribe? Because that makes a big difference.
Yeah. They were 11 to 18.
Okay, so everyone was in either high school, junior high school, or elementary school. It's not always perfect, right? Because not everyone goes, yay, this is what... Because every kid wants mommy and daddy to stay together.
Yeah.
Every kid.
Absolutely.
And I'm talking about 20, 30, 40-year-old kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay?
yeah.
Because I've had couples who
Doesn't
got
matter
married at
how old.
65 and 70, and their kids had the problem.
Yes.
Right? Okay.
That's true.
So it doesn't matter if you're 10 or 60, it seems to be an issue. So you created this book called Blended, and it's a great resource for blended families. And I want to talk about something specific today, and that is the holidays. Okay, we're talking to our audience around Thanksgiving time, and how did you guys navigate some, because you have what you have to navigate with the other spouse. Let's talk about that first. And then how did you maybe either make traditions or that kind of stuff. So let's talk about how'd you navigate that outside the tribe first? How did that go? Or what were some ideas around that?
Well, for my kids, I can't remember exactly, but major holidays, we shared the time. So I think it was every
So half a day with us, half a day
like
with them, or the night before.
Christmas Eve was with us, and Christmas Day was with
Yeah.
their dad, and then Thanksgiving.
We split the day. We split the
think
days.
so.
on
Yeah.
Thanksgiving.
So 11 and 2,
Yeah,
or 11
yeah.
and 3.
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
So the kids just came home fat. They were just, they just ate all day long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I would say that my ex and I actually had a pretty good working relationship. We tried to really never put the kids in the middle and really tried to communicate the two of us, and I think it flowed pretty well. I think it was difficult for Danny mostly when
She's the youngest.
She's the
yeah,
youngest.
she's the
Yeah.
very youngest. When she would go to her dad's, knowing that Mariah and Ashley were with us on a holiday, that was really hard for her.
Yeah, there's no win. There's no win.
No.
Yeah,
because she wants to be with her dad, but also feels like she might be missing out because
Right.
she's not with us. And so that was hard. But we got through it, and I think I don't know, maybe you want
Yeah,
to
for me, for me, Doug, it's a little bit different because I had full custody of my kids.
Oh,
And
that
so
does make
their-
a difference.
Yeah, and so their mom was sort of involved in their lives and not really involved, and so my kids would be with us the whole time.
Right, so that was
And so it
easy.
is, and then the other kids go away, and yeah, that can create conflict there because they're like, well, how come we can't stay here? Or
Sure.
and I
Why do we have to leave what we want to leave? Right, that kind of thing.
right.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
could feel for Danny because she wanted to be in two places at one time and she couldn't be. And so, but we navigated that, and I think it went pretty well. We did try to, create new traditions in our family, things that we didn't do in our previous marriages.
Talk about that a little bit. 'Cause that's really an important, I think that's an important thing
It is.
in blended families around several issues. How you celebrate birthdays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like one family, you get a cake and that's it. One family, you get 5 gifts. One family, you go out to eat. One family, you get to pick your day, right? And so then you bring these things together and you got to create a whole new tradition around birthdays, Christmas, Thanksgiving, July 4th, Labor Day, Memorial Day, right? All these things. And so how did you kind of create, give me some ideas for that.
I think we really wanted to create an environment that they wanted to be there. And so we played games. I mean, that was always...
we have one game that's very unique that we've been doing for a little while now, and this is at Christmas. But you could do this at any time, really.
Yeah.
And it's you take red Solo cups and you put gift cards and candy and prizes, and there's some blooper prizes. Like we give the yodeling pickle every year, and some kid picks the yodeling pickle, and it's pretty funny because it's a yodeling pickle. And so, but yeah, and you take these red Solo cups and you put them all over the table, and you just go from person to person to person, and they get to pick.
And as adults, our kids look so forward to that.
Right, because that's a new tradition.
It is.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
something we've done. And so, and we, so I think we just really tried to create an environment that they wanted to be there. And something that would fit the older kids and the younger kids, because there's,
Right.
I mean, there's a
10 years
difference
difference, yeah,
between
almost,
11 and a 18 or 19-year-old. And so, and we did not, I tried to never make them feel guilty for having to go to their dads, or if they were, the girls sometimes would
And
see
I think
their
that's
mom.
something that in your book, Blended, I think that's a principle that I picked up, was that you have to stay respectful.
Yes, yeah.
And I think that's something that you both have lived and done. And I think as if you are in a blended situation, respecting the other people, the other adults, is really a key factor, as much as you can. You stay respectful with the children.
Yes.
Like, that is your dad, that is your mom. Try to be respectful, and do what you can, and you showing that mutual respect, that does make a difference,
It does.
even
and
in adult children.
Yeah, I think that, because Danny has mentioned it, and I think she mentioned it, all of our kids have a portion of the book where they
So it's a blended
told-
book.
Yeah,
told-
they have 50 pages. It's their story, and
That
we
they
had no
share
idea we didn't know until we went to publish what they actually said.
Yeah.
No,
And
that's
so, so she had just said that she really felt like for a bad situation, we handled it really well as parents, that she never felt pulled. And I think that is very important. So I think, especially during the holidays, it's such a hard time, especially for kids when they're from a divorced family.
Yeah.
And you want to really make that transition as easy
Sure,
as
because
possible.
culturally it's like the family, not
Yes.
the families.
Right.
And you have
yeah.
to make it the families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even today, with our adult children, many of their spouses come from blended families.
Right, so
that
they've
we're
got
not
two
even
Thanksgiving,
just
you got two
dealing with-
Thanksgivings, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
and so we have to share.
Right.
You have to share. Like that's bottom line is you have to share,
Yeah.
and try to work around. Like we try to schedule things to where everybody can be there. So we're flexible. You have to be flexible too.
Right, so being flexible, being respectful, being flexible on Thanksgiving is really important.
Yes.
So, I mean, there are people who do 10, 12, 2, 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
everybody,
Yeah.
so that this one child can get to wherever they, and then we're not even talking about grandparents,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Who
Yeah.
who might want a piece of that action that day as
Right.
well.
Right.
And depending on the patriarch or matriarch of each family, that's an influence.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't know if you've had to navigate that, but I've had couples who've had to navigate the very strong patriarch or matriarch of one side of the family. That's like,
Yeah.
no, Thanksgiving's mine, and it's at this time,
Right.
and I expect you all to be there.
Yeah.
And I expect you to bring all your family. Okay.
Yeah.
So you have
We
those
didn't really have
influences.
to deal
okay,
with that much,
but
but-
there are people who have those influences,
yeah.
and again, being a team. Like, we love you. We will do the best to be there at this time if we can. And okay,
Yeah.
and our, we can set another day, because some people they have 2 Thanksgivings, one on Thursday, one on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Some people have 2 Christmases, one on Christmas Eve, one on Christmas
Yeah.
Day.
Right.
Right, and they have to navigate those things. And
Right.
the kids are like, "Hey, I got 2 Christmases. That's a great deal, right?" Okay. So when we come back, we're going to talk about some other ideas that we can do around the holidays so that Thanksgiving can be, well, let's just say, thankful.
For more content and resources to help in your healing journey with Christ, make sure to follow Dr. Doug Weiss on Facebook and Instagram. If you'd like to share full episodes of this show with friends and family, subscribe to Healing Time Ministries on YouTube. And feel free to leave us a comment on any of Dr. Doug's social media platforms. Our team would love to hear your feedback and learn how Healing Time is impacting your life, your church, and your ministry.
Welcome back to Healing Time. We're here with Paul and Jeanette Savage talking about how to make the holidays not just manageable, but meaningful for a blended family. So you guys have been married for how long?
18 years.
18 years. So that's 18 Thanksgivings.
Yes.
Okay. And probably progressively better.
Yeah.
Okay, right?
Much better.
Yeah. So, because A, the kids mature.
Right.
Yeah.
B,
Yeah.
this is the reality that they're in. So their grieving is less at this point than it was the first year or
Oh,
two
definitely.
when they were still hurt, angry. Talk about maybe some of the emotions, Jeanette, that kids could have around Thanksgiving, the holidays that you've seen, experienced, or working with other couples you've seen.
Well, I think part of that is feeling of missing out if they have to go to their biological family or a biological other parent,
right.
and what they might be missing with the family that's celebrating the holiday. And so I think, really understanding that they have the feelings behind that and that it's okay that they feel that way, and really listening to them and hearing how they're feeling about
Sure,
it.
because if I'm 10 or 12, I might not be able to say, I feel torn.
Right. Yeah.
I feel cheated
Right,
because
they
you
can't-
guys are going out to
Yeah.
to X movie or X thing with the other side, and I'm going with dad or mom, right? And who knows what's going to happen over there? Or I feel hurt, angry. I'm mad that you guys aren't still together. I'm mad. Okay, and they might not like even be able to vocalize some
It
of this
comes
stuff.
out in attitude,
Right.
or it comes out in, just
Slamming a door.
emotion. Yeah, exactly.
Right, not talking to you.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I do think, I believe there were times where Danny didn't necessarily, I'm saying her just because she was the youngest,
Yeah.
and it was more difficult for her, where the boys were a little more, Christian was not in the position where he went back and forth because he was in college, living at home,
Sure.
and it was just different for him. Anthony went back and forth, but we were very flexible as parents, my ex and I. And if there were a situation where they didn't want to go with their dad, I would communicate that with him, and he was flexible with
Like,
saying,
okay, we'll
you know
catch
what?
up in a day or two. Yeah.
Right, we'll do it a different day,
Yeah.
or just learning that they didn't choose this, and so we needed to be flexible, whether it was upsetting
You
for
had to
us
be
or
the
not.
adult.
Yes,
Right.
and so really understanding that and allowing that to happen if they wanted to go with him for some reason, or vice versa, and so remembering that as a parent that they did not choose it, and so
Right.
we have to be flexible. And
But what I like about what you're saying is you have to hear the emotions of your children as they go through the process, especially on holidays, because there's a lot of pressure for them to want the family that they thought was going to be.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, around Thanksgiving, Christmas, there's some pressure internally for them to feel that, to allow them to share their heart with you, to allow them to, there might be some misbehavior around that time, to be able to understand they're processing their emotions and ask them what they're feeling. What else are you feeling? And Paul, talk about that. Talk about, like, as a dad, it's really important that we validate, not just hear.
Yeah. Yeah.
But what's the difference between hearing a feeling and then validating a feeling?
I look at with our kids, and we focus sort of on Danny because Danny was the tough one. She didn't really want us to be married.
Sure. Not because of you, but because of the dream.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The
It
dream.
shatters the dream.
The dream was gone. And so with Danny, I really had to be incredibly patient because I had to realize she's not going to tell me she loved me. I could tell her I loved her, and she wouldn't say anything back to me. Literally silence, just a stare right at me, and that's where you have to be patient, and you have to understand that. And I even would say to Danny, like, Danny, you don't have to like me. You don't have to like me, and I understand this is not what you wanted.
Sure.
And I understand that. And so, yeah, just validating those feelings is so important of your kids. And then for my girls, their mom wasn't in their life. And then she would come back in sort of for a little bit and then go back out, and she had a lot of issues. And so with my girls, it was like, okay, Jeanette doesn't have to be, she's not your mom, but she's still here, and she's
let her
here.
love you. Yeah.
Exactly. Let her love you. That's a great way to put
And
it.
I think that, what you're talking about, Paul, and this is so important, and really, dads and moms, I want you to really hear this point for a moment. Validating the feeling goes something like this. It's valid that you feel hurt. It's valid that you feel alone or confused or angry. If I was in your situation and I was 14 years old and this happened to me, I might feel exactly the way you feel. Okay? When you allow your young children or your adolescent children or even your adult children to go, you know what? You didn't create this situation and you haven't mixed feelings about it. It's valid that you feel mixed about it. Because I might feel the same way. I grew up in having a stepdad, and I really didn't understand that. I was confused. I was in foster homes for a while, and then this guy shows up, and then they're not married, and then they get married, and it's like, what even
happening?
is what even is this? And so, so my template wasn't. I didn't family to me was like whoever lived with you, right? Okay, and that was your family. Here's your half sisters, and okay, and so it's important that your children, they can share their feelings. It's important that the parents validate the feelings over the holidays, especially, because
definitely.
validating that, you know what, this is a tough season because you're expected to be different than the situation you're in. You think that it's supposed to be mom and dad and grandma and grandpa around the Christmas tree and the fireplace and, having marshmallows. And so that's not the dream that you have. Okay, but can we create some memories that we might want to like? You know what I'm saying? Can you join us in creating a memory so that when you are 30 years old, you have something to look back on and go, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Okay, and I think that's sometimes the best you can do, Now, talk about how you guys have done Thanksgiving with others, because I think that says something really good about you all, but also it's helpful for the kids.
Yeah, one of the things that we've done is that we open up our home to people that don't necessarily have family around. And so we've, just last year, I think we had over 20 people at our house for Thanksgiving. And then, you have to be flexible too, because then, we have adult children now, adult children that have children. We have 7 grandkids.
Wow.
Too. So you have to be flexible because some will leave. And that's the thing. You can't say,
okay.
Yeah, you can't, you have to be okay with, Christian and Heather's his wife, they have to go to
Her family.
to her family. And then she has a step family and they have 2 other.
Right. It's 8,
That's
10,
the
12, 2,
It's
4.
a lot.
Oh,
They're
it's the reality. But so to open up our home to other people, I think it's good for our kids to see that community is so important, and bringing and that I believe that's what Jesus. I mean, you look at that's what Jesus did. He told Matthew, I'm coming to your house. Matthew, we're coming to your house tonight, and we're having a party. And so that's important to have that community, and that's one thing that we've done the last few years.
And then we traditionally will play games after dinner. And, so that's very loud.
I've seen blended families, or even traditions in families are families. Okay, so it doesn't have to be blended or not.
Yeah.
Okay, you can go back into your family of origin traditions, friends who have different traditions, or create new traditions. Like some people watch a certain movie.
Yes, yeah.
Thanksgiving Day, and it's some funny movie, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Christmas Day may be a different movie, or they go to a movie.
Yeah.
Okay, for some couples, they even, instead of trying to do everything at home, I've had blended families say, okay, we're going to go to a nice place, and we're gonna have our Thanksgiving meal there. So it doesn't trigger all of this home stuff, all of this expectation stuff. And they might do that for a handful of years, where it's at a nice restaurant, they plan it ahead of time, the kids want to go there, and there's no expectation of all these family dynamics. It's just, let's just go have a good meal together, let's love on each other. So I think one of the things is you have to get outside the box, as step-parents, a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's a different
There's no
situation.
playbook, Doug. There's no, this is what you do and this is how you do it, and then you're going to be perfect and everybody's going to love everybody. It could take years
Right.
before, and even then, there's a lot of times, even further down, as we're 18 years into it, that you have tension that it's like, whoa, where did that come from? And
But that would be true in any family.
But we're,
that's
that would be
that's
true
what
in
we,
any family.
is.
That's what we say. We have, there's different dynamics.
There's
that
people who grow up
happen,
together their whole lives, and at 40 they're fussing.
Yes, exactly.
I've had families when the parents died. These are adults. They're our age. They're 60, plus years old, and they are fighting siblings over the will.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
And they were raised in good Christian families, right? Mom and dad never divorced. So people are people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that in step families, you get to see that. And I think it's actually a little easier because it's like, you're a person. I love you. I respect you. I see your flaws. I see your strengths. Let's try to walk this out together, and trying to do it in a Christian way. But I do like the idea of community, because I think that's one thing that some blended families avoid. honestly.
Well, because it could be messy.
It
you
well, it
know.
is messy.
It is messy.
It is messy.
Yeah.
You know, and you're bringing your little tribe to a cell group or a Sunday school or to a church situation, and you don't look like everybody else. Although at this point, you look like at least 30% of the church, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I really encourage community. I encourage you, if you are a blended family, bring some other blended families around, talk to each other. I think, you know, blended's a great way to start, like even a little Bible study in their home, or do something at home where they read through it, talk about it, laugh about it, cry about it. But I think it's important for, and you guys validate this or not, but working with so many couples over the years, the blended families who dad has a guy he can talk to, and mom has a woman that she respects and can talk to, and not necessarily mentors, but they might be just even peers, but a place where you can let the air out,
I think it's really important.
Very important.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, and you have some experiences with that, right? Where it's like, okay, I'm not even going to talk to my husband or wife about this, but I need to talk to somebody.
Right.
This kid is
Yep.
driving me
Yeah,
absolutely
yeah.
bonkers, and you know, if I had my way, I would blah, 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 blah,
Right.
blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then you go, okay, now I'm sane and I can go back and be parent.
Yes.
Right?
it's
You
true.
need a place to let the air out. And that's
Yeah.
true of regular parenting, okay? That's not just step parenting.
Right.
It's really good to have a friend. We all have a friend in Jesus, because you know he has a blended family. You know, Jesus has he has Israel, and then he has the church, and he's parenting both of them at the same time. And
Right.
it's an interesting dynamic, right? Some people don't see God as like God the Father, God the stepfather, right? Like, but he stepped into my life when my dad stepped out. He became my dad. You know, and there's so many that's your story. Jesus loves you so much. Well, many of you enjoy your holidays as much as you can. I know you're on Instagram, so go at Dr. Doug Weiss. Subscribe to our YouTube channels at Dr. Doug Weiss and the Healing Time Ministries. And you can also listen to Dr. Doug Weiss podcast, available on all major platforms, and share this message about being blended. So many churches are actually avoiding this topic. And that's why we do Healing Times, so that some of you can step up where nobody is stepping in. And I can tell you, your church would love you if you did something about blended families. Today we're talking about family, and the most important family is the family of God. If you've walked away from Jesus, or you've never accepted him as Christ, as Lord of your life, you can right now. Just say these words with me out loud. Something like this. Say, Jesus, forgive me of my sins. I repent. I believe you died for me. I believe your blood paid for all my mistakes. I declare you as Lord of me right now. In Jesus' name, amen. We want to get you the Gospel of John absolutely free. It's got a QR code in it. So call the number on your screen and welcome home. I hope this conversation with Paul and Jeanette is a blessing to your family as you celebrate Thanksgiving and Christmas this year. Remember to keep Jesus at the center, set healthy boundaries, and just enjoy your family. If you need prayer for your family or for anything, call us at 1-800-329-0029. We're here 24/7. And until next time, not only have a blessed holiday, but share Jesus with somebody.